7 time management skills you must have in order to succeed. I'd like to talk to you about 7 time management skills that you need in order to succeed in anything that you do. And it can be in any field. It can be in your personal life, it can be in your professional life, it can be within your family, it can be within your community, it can be within the workplace. But managing your time is essential, and these are the 7 skills that you need to have. The first one has to do with goal setting. And I want you to think of goal setting as if you are the captain of a ship and you have just looked into the GPS of the ship and you said, what am I putting into the GPS of the ship of my life? Because if you don't put anything in the GPS, if you don't set your goals, you're just going to drift in the sea and you'll end up somewhere, doing something, living somehow. But you need to be able to decide, to determine for yourself what goes in that GPS. Where are you going? And so the first thing you do when you manage your time is you ask yourself, what am I managing it for? What are my goals? And my recommendation would be to write them down. And keep your goal list short, no more than 3. What are you looking to accomplish today? What are you going to accomplish this year? What are you putting in the GPS of the ship of where you're going, of your life? So the first skill that you need to have is goal setting. The second skill that you need to have has to do with prioritizing. And what happens in modern life is we are all bombarded with so many tasks and so many things that we want to do. And we all tend to multitask here and there throughout our day and do so many things, and then the day ends and we ask ourselves, what did I accomplish today? I ran around, but what did I actually accomplish? And that's because we have a tendency to spend major time on minor things. The things that matter less tend to take most of our day. And so you prioritize by taking 2-second decisions on what matters the most to you, and you scale it. If you have certain things today that are at a 10 for you, and you say, no matter what, these are my 10s, those are the things that you are going to focus on. The 2s, the 1s, the 3s, they can wait for later. The third skill that you need to have has to do with organization. If your household is chaotic, if your desk is chaotic, you're going to find yourself spending a lot of time looking for things, looking for information, trying to reorganize yourself as you are going through the day. If you start yourself organized, your inbox is organized, your desk is organized, your household is at least to an extent organized, you will find that you're having an easier time managing your time throughout the day, because you wouldn't be running around looking for things and trying to figure out where everything is and what to do when you can't find something that you really need. So also very good for your mindset too, because it gives you a clearer mindset. The fourth skill that you need to have is planning. So after you've figured out what matters the most to you, after you've figured out what your 10s are, you need to plan how to get there. What are you going to do today in order to make sure that these 10s actually happen? It may be a very good idea for you to write those things down, because the mind is very, very cluttered. And so when you decide what your 10s are, you also need to decide how you're going to make it happen. When you write it, it will be clear, it will be in front of you. And the best thing for you is to keep that on your desk. Number 5, the 5th skill that you need to have is delegation. If you are the kind of person that tends to do everything themselves, either because you're a perfectionist or that's just how you do things, or you're so busy and so bombarded with so many tasks that you don't even take the time to delegate, you're going to find yourself dealing with things throughout your day, spending time throughout your day on things that can be done by others. And so when we talk about planning, we also talk about planning towards delegating the work to others. There are some things that your kids can do in the house to help you. There are some things that team members can do within your team that will take some of the workload off of your shoulders. This way, you can focus on your 10s and not spend major time on minor things, not spend unnecessary time on your 2s. The better you get at delegating, even if it's not exactly the way you would have done it, even if it's not perfect, the better you are at delegating, the better you are at time management. The sixth skill that you need to have has to do with stress management, because the more stress we experience, the harder it is for us to think, the harder it is for us to make good choices. And so if you want to manage your time in the best possible way, you need to keep your stress level down. And so if you need to take a break, if you need to take a walk, if you need to put something stressful aside and deal with it later, because that stressful thing is a 2 in your day right now, and you need to focus on what matters to you the most, you need to focus on your 10, then that's what you are going to do. Stress is not a given. Stress is something that needs to be managed, and in order to be effective, you need to get really good at managing it well. The seventh skill that you need to have has to do with setting boundaries, and in simpler words, it has to do with saying no. If you get really good at setting boundaries, you're going to find that the day becomes much easier for you to handle. But if you say yes to things that you really shouldn't say yes to just because you don't want to hurt other people's feelings and you want to be nice, you're going to find yourself losing control over the time management of your day. So with those 7 skills, I'm sure you can manage your time better. And when you manage your time better, there is nothing that you can't do.